Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just a slight delay. We are expecting the arrival of the minister within 15 minutes. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize for this late start in our graduation ceremony proceedings. At this moment, please stand for the posting of the colors and the national anthem of Barbados, which will be played by the National Youth Orchestra.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and for the wisdom to recognize our gifts and to serve you with gratitude. We pray you may bless these who graduate this evening as they pursue their dreams in unexpected ways. We pray you may provide them with the courage to move beyond fear and doubt and find strength in their capacity to care for others. And may your Spirit guide these graduates as they unfold the next chapters in their lives, even as they journey into the unknown futures complicated by the coronavirus. Help them to enliven hope in the world and to bring good things to your kingdom as they journey in the unprecedented times. May they know your guidance. Help them to be mindful that true success is born of meaningful relationships and a community that embraces peace and justice. And through your gracious Spirit, we ask that you, our Heavenly Father, to bless these students who have reached this part of their academic life, and grant unto them the humility in the face of success and abundance. And we pray, Father, that you will bless them with generosity in the midst of the challenges to come. To their friends, we thank you, Lord, for the support granted to them through this phase of their educational journey. And we also pray for your blessings upon their families and the faculty of this noble institution, and all those who form an integral part of their success and the joy of their accomplishments. May this evening, may we, as they do, acknowledge this celebration to be a reflection of the blessings that we find in knowing and loving you and acknowledging their hard work even now through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Master of Ceremonies, Lamar Nichols. The Honorable K. McConney, Minister of Education, Technological and Vocational Training. Honorable Sandra Husbands, Minister in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. Miss Betty Allen Headley, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training. Miss Yolande Howard, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment. Ms. Kim Bell, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training. Other officials of the Government of Barbados and statutory organizations. Ms. Corinne Kennedy Tate, Chairman of the SJPI Board of Management. Members of the Board of Management. Professor Cardinal Ward, Faculty Director of Office Engineering Outreach Programs, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Mr. Ian Drakes, Principal of the SJPI. Ms. Brenda Osborne and Ms. Andrea Braffett, Deputy Principals and other members of the Senior Management Team. Former members of the Board of Management, retired principals and retired members of staff of the SJPI, principals of tertiary institutions and secondary schools, heads of division and members of staff, members of the advisory committees, industry partners and sponsors, valedictorian Ms. Abigail Mohammed, graduating class of 2022, parents and significant others of the graduating class, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Kindly sit. It is with immense pleasure that I welcome you to the 2022 Graduation Award Ceremony of the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology. I am Lamar Nichols, your Master of Ceremonies for the evening. Special thank you to the members of the Barbados Cadet Corps for the posting of the colors. It has often been proclaimed that the exposure to music at an early stage in the child's life ignites all areas of child development and skills for school readiness, including intellectual, social, emotional, motor, language, and overall literacy, as it helps the body and mind to work together. A special thank you to the Barbados Youth Symphony Orchestra for entertaining us as we awaited the start of this evening's ceremony and for that lovely rendition of the national anthem. Give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Graduates, graduation day is a special time in your academic life. It is a day that celebrates you and your achievements and gives you the opportunity to take a mental sigh of relief and walk the stage to cheers of your family, friends, colleagues, and instructors. It marks the closing of one door and a feeling of expectation from what is behind another. This evening is particularly special, as it is the first time in over 2 years that we are able to have a ceremony in person and not rely on sitting at home to witness a recorded version. This evening's proceedings operate under the theme, Rising Together and Conquering the World, a powerful theme which perfectly sums up the institution's stance over the last 2 years, culminating with tonight's event. Graduates, it has been a long and tough journey you have had to travel, but you made it. Let me first offer the first of many congratulations which you will receive this evening. At this time, I wish to invite Ms. Corinne Kennedy Tate, Chairman of the Board of Management of the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology, to deliver the welcome and opening remarks. Ms. Kennedy Tate is no stranger to the academic sphere. She is a graduate of the University of the West Indies, holding a Bachelor of Arts degree in History and Economics, a Master of Arts in Education, and a Diploma in Education. Her extensive list of qualifications also include a Certificate in Management from the George Washington University and a Certificate in Industrial Relations from BIMAC. Ms. Kennedy served as principal of the Queen's College for over a decade and was the first female to be appointed deputy principal of Harrison College. In addition, she spent many years as a part-time lecturer at the University of the West Indies and at Erdeston Teachers Training College. She represented teaching professions in Barbados on the Caribbean Examination Council and served on a number of local and regional education committees. She is a published author and has received numerous awards for her outstanding contribution to education, education administration, and community service among the youth. On Republic Day in 2021, she was the recipient of the Gold Trident of Excellence in the National Independence Day Award. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Kennedy Tate.
Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Lamar Nichols, the Honorable Kay McConney, Minister of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, the Honorable Sandra Husbands, Minister in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Community Empowerment, Deputy Permanent Secretaries, other senior government officials and heads of statutory organizations, members of the Board of Management of the SJPI, Professor Cardinal Ward, Faculty Director, Office of Engineering Outreach Programs, MIT, Principal and Deputy Principal of the SJPI, other distinguished and specially invited guests, past and present students of the SJPI, valedictorian and graduating class of 2022, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, for your kind words of introduction. Distinguished guests, it is an honor and a privilege to welcome you to the ceremony where we celebrate the success of the SJPI graduating class of 2022. It is important at this time to give thanks to the Almighty God who has provided us with the opportunity to resume face-to-face instruction and who has brought us to the point where we can celebrate the accomplishment of our graduating class in the traditional manner. As you are aware, the COVID-19 pandemic brought ceremonies of this nature to a grinding halt, and for the past 2 years, we opted to conduct our graduation ceremony virtually. Hopefully, those days are behind us, and future graduation ceremonies will be characterized by personal interaction. On behalf of the Board of Management, it is my pleasure to extend a warm welcome to our featured speaker, Professor Cardinal Ward, a Barbadian who has acquired an international reputation for his achievements in the area of science and technology. Professor Ward is a trailblazer and has demonstrated to Barbadians everywhere that they can rise up and conquer the world, as our theme suggests. He is an inspiration to us all and has exploded the myth that progress of persons coming from small island states is limited by geography. He has substantiated our claim that Barbados can punch above its weight and produce individuals with the intellectual capacity to leave an indelible mark on the international academic and technological landscape. Professor Ward has remained loyal to his Caribbean roots and has generously donated his time, his expertise, and his resources to assist in the development of young people in the region. We welcome you, sir, and thank you for so readily agreeing to address our graduates and give them some words of encouragement. I would also like to welcome Minister Kay McConney, the Permanent Secretary, and other officials from the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training. Minister, I thank you and your staff for your guidance and support and for the formulation of educational policies that will redound to the benefit of the students here at the SJPI and in the wider Barbadian community. It gives me great pleasure as well to welcome Minister's Cabinet colleague, the Honorable Sandra Husbands, Minister in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. A welcome is also extended to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Community Empowerment, and to all the other senior government officials and heads of statutory corporations who attend this function. Thank you for joining us. I must also recognize our industry partners who have assisted the SJPI by providing scholarships, internships, and funding. We also thank you for facilitating mentoring programs for the young men and women who will receive their diplomas today and others who receive their education at the SJPI. We are grateful and truly appreciate your support for the programs that we offer. We regard you as major stakeholders in this institution, and we recognize that your support is undergirded by the belief that the training we provide here is inextricably linked with the sustainability of industry. In addition, I extend a warm welcome to parents, guardians, relatives, and friends of our graduates. We thank you for your support and for your provision of an environment that has been conducive to learning. Your role in this exercise has definitely helped to facilitate the process of online instruction. We welcome each and every one of you to our graduation ceremony. It would be remiss of me if I did not publicly thank the staff and the students of SJPI for the warm welcome I received since accepting the appointment as the board chair in June last year. On behalf of the Board of Management, I take this opportunity to publicly thank the principal and the staff for their sound management of this institution during the COVID-19 pandemic and beyond. Their provision of developmentally relevant educational programs will enable our graduates either to step directly into jobs or to engage in some form of entrepreneurial activity. Not only does the SJPI offer programs in the traditional areas such as care of the elderly, child care, cosmetology, agriculture, maritime studies, construction, and auto mechanics, but the SJPI is now widely regarded as the standard bearer for the delivery of cutting-edge technological programs such as coding and robotics, 3D printing, installation of photovoltaic systems, and maintenance of electric vehicles. I have been informed that our applicants now include university graduates and persons who have already excelled academically. Those individuals regard the SJPI as a place where they can hone their skills in the technical vocational area, either for the purpose of self-employment or as a place where they can acquire the expertise to engage in the home improvement projects and or leisure time activities. Indeed, Mr. Principal, you should take a bow because the reputation of the SJPI has been enhanced as an institution of excellence because of your visionary and enthusiastic leadership. Staff members also should be commended for embracing your vision, infusing it with their special brand of creativity, and translating it into practical programs for the students. The Board of Management is appreciative of your effort and applauds you and the staff. You have set the benchmark for commitment, ingenuity, and pedagogical dexterity during the period of the pandemic. Kudos, everyone. Finally, I wish to say a few words to our graduates. Your presence here today is testimony to your resilience, your self-discipline, and the dedication to your studies. I believe that the pandemic has taught you the valuable lesson that in life, not everything comes easily. During the past 2 years, you have learned to adapt to the vicissitudes of life as students operating in a COVID environment. I sincerely hope that those student experiences demonstrated to you that learning is a lifelong process. I also hope that we'll use the education that you acquired here as a foundation, as a stepping stone to further expand your horizons. I exhort you to regard today's exercise as part of the process of preparing you for prosperous and productive lives. Do not regard your graduation and the credentials you will receive as an end in itself. Your educational journey must continue. I urge you not to be complacent and rest on your laurels, or even to be satisfied with mediocrity. Instead, I exhort you to strive for excellence in all that you undertake. The time has come for you to rise up and conquer the world. We congratulate you, we applaud your achievement, and we wish you success in all your endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Honorable K. McConney, MP, is currently Minister of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, charged with leading transformation in education. She is an elected Member of Parliament of Barbados, a former Senator, and a former Minister of Innovation, Science, and Smart Technology. Described by the She Caribbean magazine as a dynamo, K. McConney has championed international interests of Barbados, the Caribbean, vulnerable Caribbean economies. In 2017, the University of the West Indies honored her with the Vice Chancellor's Award for outstanding contribution to the interests of the Caribbean region. Minister McConney represented Barbados as a former high-level diplomat at the United Nations, a former negotiator at the World Trade Organization, and a former Consul General in Canada. Before taking up her role as Cabinet Minister in June 2018, she led a human capital development company that specialized in leading strategic change in the 21st century environments. In addition, Ms. McConney has served as an expert resource for various international development agencies and initiatives. Ladies and gentlemen, join with me as I welcome the Honorable Kay McConney, Minister of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, to deliver the Minister's remarks.
Good evening. Oh, good evening. Well, thank you, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. And with your permission, audience, I pray that you will allow me to respect the protocol that has already been established with the long list of dignitaries and to abbreviate that list at this time. I'd like to recognize Minister, the Honorable Sandra Husbands. I would also wish to recognize the permanent secretaries of the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training and the permanent secretaries in the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Community Development. I wish to acknowledge certainly the chairman of the board of SJPI and all the members of that board. I wish to acknowledge also Professor Cardinal Ward, one of the men in this world whom I admire greatly, from Massachusetts Institute of Technology, who is also our featured speaker this evening. I wish to acknowledge your principal, Mr. Drakes, and the entire staff, and most importantly, you, the graduates, and your family who have brought you to this place today. Now, I have to say that celebrations tend to bring a really good feeling. And when celebrations are of the achievement of the students of this Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology, of your graduating class, you know it feels even sweeter. And especially when you know that you worked through a pandemic to get here, it feels even sweeter than sweet. And so I really want to thank all of you for the effort that you have put in to recognize that effort, knowing that it was extraordinary. And I wish to thank the Samuel Jackman SJPI for inviting me here to join as part of your sweetness and also to mark this continuing journey in the life of this institution. Now, you have chosen as your theme, Rising Together, Conquering the World. And in this theme, there is that spirit of collaboration working together. There is a unity of purpose coming together to rise. And there is also that oneness of effort where you are all pushing together or pulling together or rowing together. And I really want for you to treat this theme not just as something for today, but as something for every tomorrow. Because if you have ever doubted that we need each other and we need to rise together and we need to conquer the world working together, I want you to reflect on the last 2 years. Because had we not come together, a virus that the scientists tell us started more than 15,000 kilometers away from here, and that took the lives of over 6.7 million people, some of whom, regrettably, were also Barbadian. And when you realize that 255 million jobs just up to the end of 2020 had already been lost, full-time jobs lost. And out of that, 10.3% of those 255 million at the end of 2020 were from Latin America and the Caribbean. 10.3%. yet we only make up almost 8% of the world. This was a time when we had to pull together and be able to rise together in order to conquer the world. And I don't know about you, but it brings to mind the question that the Prime Minister, the Honorable Mayor Amor Motley, what she asked during the remarks that she gave at the opening ceremony of the World Leaders Summit in November 2021. Our Prime Minister asked, can there be peace and prosperity in the third world if 2/3 are under siege, facing calamitous threats to our well-being? Not only does this question and prompt countries around the world to think deeply on the need for us to be accountable for our collective actions and our individual actions, and to act as if we are each our brother's keepers. It also encourages each one of us as individuals to work together in order to rise together. This is the call to your graduating class this year, rising together, conquering the world. And as I said, I pray that you will remember this theme not just for the moment, but for a lifetime. All of us are either citizens or residents of Barbados. And we know that we live in a Barbados that is not accustomed to rolling over and playing dead when things get tough. We are the type of people who are overcomers, who direct our focus and our energy to the task. We are the kind of people who will adjust our attitude as is required and look for the kind of support it will take to get us over the hill and beyond. And I want you to know that overcoming is your superpower. There is nothing that working together you cannot figure out, that you can't achieve together. And if you are in this space ever again, or as you face other challenges that are similar to those you faced during your time of study here, remember, everything is, I'll create a word, figure-outable, just by working together. That is your superpower. Some of you will tell the story of your time at SJPI. And I pray that when you tell that story, it will be a storytelling with pride. Because I have witnessed with pride the Samuel Jackman Prescott institution respond to the call to work towards the greater reliance on the use of renewable energy by the year 2030. This SJPI in 2021 became the first public sector institution to be recognized as an energy champion. And this designation was very much deserved, since the institution stands as the forerunner in the provision of training programs in photovoltaic, in wind energy, in hybrid technology and robotics, just to name a few. And another significant undertaking of which this institution can be proud, and you should be proud as graduates of this institution, is its involvement in training under the National Transformation Initiative for the Barbados Employment and Sustainable Transformation Program, the BEST program, which was instituted right here in Barbados to save the businesses and especially the jobs of many Barbadians during our most difficult times. SJPI has certainly embodied the spirit of rising together, to conquer the world. In its collaboration with the government of Korea through the International Development Bank, they have been working, as I believe some of you are aware, of the Renewable Energy Fishing Vessel Project. This project is designed to create a prototype of a fishing vessel using solar energy to power its motors. And this could prove to be very transformative for our fishing industry. Other initiatives in which SJPI has truly been trailblazing are those with the World Skills Barbados in collaboration with Brazil to provide training on the lathe and milling machines. And it has partnered with the government to train youth under the Barbados Youth Advanced Corps. And I highlighted these because all of these initiatives, all of them, were engaged at the time when this institution and this country was going through a pandemic. In May of 2022, the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training launched the Barbados Construction Gateway Training Initiative. And under this training, we intended to provide the trainees with the skills required to access opportunities in the emerging construction boom, which you have seen, it has started already in Barbados. The intention was to prepare a qualified and capable workforce that was able to be ready for work immediately. So far, 2 cohorts have completed, 590 workers have been ably trained, and we now have a 3rd cohort of about 1,000 students who will be moving through this program. Now, without a doubt, SJPI is living up to today's theme, rising together and conquering the world, whether it is through its international partnerships or whether it is through its local collaborations with other institutions. Our government, we recognize that technical and vocational training is becoming more and more the interface between learning and livelihoods, between education and the world of work. And it is anticipated that the majority of the jobs that will be emerging over the next several years will require technical and vocational qualifications. And so you all are right on track in terms of your focus at this particular time. And in recognition of the significance that technical and vocational training will continue to have in this country, our government is now considering how best we might be able to elevate the profile of technical and vocational training to the similar profile of that of some of the other scholarships that we offer on the academic side of things. It is time that technical and vocational training was elevated to be on par with every other recognition and award that this country gives for scholarship. And I sincerely hope that you will carry the name of this institution with pride into your life, not only for the training that it has given you, but for the way in which you intend to lift it through the excellence you will demonstrate as you go into the real world. I thank you so much for your time and your patience, but more importantly, I thank you for the effort that I know you will make in the interest of the development of this country we love. Congratulations, graduates.
Thank you, Minister McConney. Tonight's graduation ceremony is not just special because it marks the first time since the pandemic that we were able to celebrate with each other, but for the first time, we have added a new feature. honorary awards to our graduation proceedings. Tonight, we shall be honoring 2 awardees. These awards will be presented by Miss Brenda Osborne, Deputy Principal Academic. Ms. Osborne has been an educator for over 3 decades and currently sits as the chairman for the academic board with responsibilities for managing the academic staff, overseeing the quality of the curriculum, and ensuring that the program standards are established. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause as we welcome Ms. Brenda Osborne, Deputy Principal Academic, to present the honorary awards.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. Master of Ceremonies, again, I may address you. Lamar Nichols, Library Assistant. The Honorable Kay McConney, Minister of Education, Technological and Vocational Training. The Honorable Sandra Husbands, Minister in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. Permanent Secretaries, the Ministry of Education and Technological and Vocational Training, and the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment. Other senior government officials and heads of statutory organizations, Madam Chair and members of the Board of Management of the SJPI, Professor Cardinal Ward, Faculty Director, Office of Engineering Outreach Programs, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, principals and deputy principals of the SJPI, other distinguished and specially invited guests, past and present staff of the SJPI, valedictorian and graduating class of 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Madam Chair, I present the honorary awards for 2022. As in previous years, the graduation and awards ceremony 2022 represents a significant milestone for our institution, where faculty and staff celebrate the educational achievements of graduates and awardees. This year, our Graduation and Awards Committee proposed the conferment of the inaugural annual honorary award in recognition of inspiring members of our community who have also rendered service to a particular division of the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology. It is my pleasure this evening, on behalf of the Board of Management, staff, and students of the SJPI, to confer the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology Honorary Award in Agriculture to Miss Jacqueline Brooms and Mr. John Vaughn. Jacqueline Brooms is an agronomist and is currently the agriculture manager of the Mount Gay Distilleries Limited. She read for a Bachelor of Science degree in general horticulture in 2007, and in 2014, a Master's of Philosophy degree in crop science from the University of the West Indies, UWI, St. Augustine campus. At present, Ms. Brooms is a PhD candidate at the UWI, where she is undertaking research in the characterization of sweet potato carvers in Barbados. Prior to Mount Gay Distilleries Limited, Ms. Broom was employed at the Agronomy Research and Variety Testing Unit at Groves in St. George. She was actively involved in research into the development of new and improved value-added products from fresh tropical commodities. It is her passion to see agriculture used as a tool for the advancement of youth and vulnerable persons, especially in rural areas. Ms. Brooms is a Rotarian and lives by the motto, service above self. Ms. Brooms facilitates our annual internship for students from the Agriculture Division and also allocates land, labor, and other resources for our tree and root crop production course, and is currently developing a scholarship for students pursuing agriculture. Madam Minister, I invite you to assist us with these presentations. Madam Chair, Ms. Brooms has a passion for agriculture, which she extends to the SJPI, and it is my honor to present Ms. Brooms to you. Our second awardee this evening is Mr. John Vaughn. John Vaughn, a proud alumnus of the Allen School. Mr. Vaughn's lifetime involvement in agriculture can be characterized as a calling and not simply a career. In October 1975, a year after leaving secondary school, Mr. Vaughn joined the staff of the Ministry of Agriculture as an animal health assistant attached to the Veterinary Service Department. Since then, he has served the industry in posts such as farm manager, livestock extension officer, livestock loans officer, technical coordinator, and a part-time instructor in animal husbandry at the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology. Mr. Vaughn's contribution to the animal husbandry program at the SJPI were practical training such as administration of injections, castration of piglets, clipping of hooves, ear tagging, weaning, weighing, and deworming of sheep and goats were facilitated at various farms. This practical exposure serves to produce students who were better equipped to gain employment both locally and internationally. For the past 35 years, Mr. Vaughn has made a vital contribution to the research of black belly sheep. He's currently working on the Sheep Improvement Project with the Ministry of Agriculture in collaboration with Lincoln University in the USA. Mr. Vaughn has traveled extensively throughout the region and beyond to promote black belly sheep. Madam Chair, Mr. Vaughn has made a valuable contribution to the SJPI. It is my pleasure this evening to present him to you. Madam Minister, thanks so much for your gracious assistance.
Thank you, Ms. Osborne. The greatness of a leader is measured by his achievements and the achievements of the led. Our next speaker, Principal Mr. Ian Drakes, is the embodiment of this quote. As said before, the theme for the night emotes the feeling of a battle, and any cavalry needs a strong leader. When it would have been easy for the institution to bow under the weight of the pandemic and lose morale, it was difficult for us with our leader and his famous words, "These are exciting times," encouraging us to see these times as not just as a challenge, but as an opportunity for innovation. Mr. Drakes' teaching career has spanned more than 3 decades, working specifically with students whose academic capabilities were not mainstream. Between 1987 and 2011, he taught at the St. Lawrence Composite, St. Silas Seniors, St. Giles Senior, and the Irving Wilson and Hill schools. At these schools, he taught subjects such as physical education, mathematics, and social studies, and was responsible for the technological education programs. From that instructional role, he transitioned to the Samuel Jackman Prescott Polytechnic in June of 2011, where he functioned in an administrative capacity as Curriculum Development Industrial Liaison Officer. In August 2012, Mr. Drakes became Deputy Principal, Administration, and in December 2017, Mr. Drakes was elevated to the position of Acting Principal of the SJPI, and then appointed Principal in July 2018. Mr. Drakes is one to lead by example and is a firm believer in lifelong learning. He is actively involved in several academic associations and is constantly exploring opportunities to build capacity in staff and students. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our esteemed leader, Mr. Ian Drakes.
Thank you, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. Good evening to all. And I want to hear voices louder than that. As a school teacher, you heard where he came from. So we're going to say good evening. And you heard what we have. So I've added to that, the exciting times continue at the SJPI. Because in these exciting times, we are here, we outside. Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Lamar Nichols, the Honorable Kay McConney, Minister of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, the Honorable Sandra Husbands, Minister in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Permanent Secretaries in the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, and the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment, Deputy Permanent Secretaries, other senior government officials, and head of statutory organizations, chairman and members of the Board of Management of the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology, Professor Cardinal Ward, Faculty Director, Office of Engineering Outreach Programs, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Deputy Principals of the SJPI, other distinguished and specially invited guests, present and past staff of the SJPI, valedictorian, graduates, class of 2022, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the media, I want to add to my chairman my welcome to you this afternoon in these times of excitement that continues at the SJPI. I also want to thank the Master of Ceremonies for that introduction. It's interesting you don't see yourself in those lights when you are pushing persons in the positive light, but that's good Because I don't only want you all to learn, my instructors and my staff, no, I also want them to learn. Because I put my hand up and I made sure I completed my master's. I'm leading by example, and I did it all online. So when they say, sir, it can't be done, you can't say it can't be done either, because I did it. 2 grueling years and still was an administrator. I want to say heartfelt congratulations to you on your achievement today. As I stand before you today, as the leader of this premier institution, I cannot help but feel an immense pride as I said to you good evening this afternoon on your achievements. I may not know each of you by name, but I can appreciate that you have selected the SJPI as the preferred tertiary institution to provide you with sound technical vocational education institution for what is next after you've left the SJPI. And you've stayed the distance throughout these challenges. And an experience of a pandemic, you have persevered through it all. And you know that song. The graduation held during the last academic year followed the theme, "We are resilient, we will prevail, leaving no one behind." In my speech, I reaffirm the institution's commitment to providing you with quality technical vocational education training and also to produce a skilled workforce suitable to be globally competitive in the 21st century. I am pleased to acknowledge that we were able to do just that. This year, and you've heard future speakers said before me, this year's theme of Rising Together, Conquering the World. And we know that the world is an oyster. It's a powerful one. It projects the idea, and I am again smiling when I heard that introduction about us going into battle, but that's what it is, not was, because we still have the pandemic. And you have fought with us, united together, and we have been able through these 2 to 3 years provide quality education associated with our brand at the SJPI during this deadly pandemic, and ensuring you a feeling of victory. Every time we were able to provide skilled workers for the workforce beyond Barbados and in Barbados. When you enter the institution, graduates, it was not quite under the best of circumstances, and I know that most of you would have entered physically sometime after you registered and everything, but that was the positive side. So let's take away from the pandemic the positive side. Just like you apply for a visa, we have such a system at the SJPI in terms of getting into our institution. So you come for the hands-on, you come for the face-to-face. And we were able to do that. However, your socialization would have been a thing of the past. And many of you probably had only seen your classmates online and had to adopt a hybrid approach in terms of getting your teaching. You were thrust into a setting beyond experiences that sitting in the classroom is not the only way that we could have done things, and therefore we had to use different modes of delivery. You had to start the long hours, and the semester had to be extended to ensure that you received the quality education during that time with the SJPI. If it was not for a battle, if that was not a battle, I am not sure then what is. But you've made it to the end. You are here with us this evening. We can safely say that you rose with us together in the form of a collectiveness, yourself, the instructors, the parents, friends, staff, members, industry partners, and I'm sure many other well-wishers that have gotten you to this point this afternoon. And you conquered the world by making it to this point where you can probably now receive your certificates. As the MC stated, today is a very special day for you. First, it has marked the end of a long year of trials as the Barbados and the world at large grapple with the findings of the new normal with the existence of the deadly disease. Secondly, it has allowed us to celebrate face-to-face after 2 years. I want to say, although we have been hit hard in the economy with the rise of unemployment, and you've heard the statistics from the Honorable Minister, we were able to provide technical vocational training to 1,360 students during 2021 to 2022 academic year. 693 in full-time division, 667 in the part-time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is by no means an easy feat that our students and staff during that semester, those semesters, that we were able to retain and keep you focused, even though we know that we have faced some dropouts, unfortunately. However, you stayed the course. I am delighted to report that regardless of those times, we boast that the institution, we have had 1,149 students set to graduate today. This includes 635 students receiving both full and partial certification over the 7 full-time divisions that we have at the SJPI, and 514 in the part-time. I want to mention, especially tonight, that we celebrate approximately 207 of our full-time students receiving merits or distinctions in their studies. Give yourself a round of applause. In these times, that is conquering the world. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a third of the graduates for full-time compliment. I offer you really thanks and support to your well-wishers out there. Graduates, I wish to impart a few thoughts to you now, this evening. The road you've traveled upon in leaving this institution will not be easy. As adults, you will experience challenges and obstacles. Oftentimes, you will grow tired of adulting. And believe me, you are not alone in these struggles. But I hope that you look back at this time spent at the institution during the pandemic and think of your resilience as an individual. Remember this, and that of your toughest point, your support was your friends and family, and you stayed the course. I hope that you're able to forge strong and lasting friendships with both your colleagues and staff members and our industry partners. And do not hesitate to ask for help. And rely on these people as a support throughout your life. Remember, united we stand, divided we fall. And with that, I am going to give you an assignment. We have a very keen industry partner. And you've heard the minister said, after studying, you've got to do more studying, and then there's work. I am saying to you, the graduates tonight, and I hope you have a pen or you have a good memory. I have a very keen industry partner that wants to open in April or May of this year. And they're giving SJPI graduates special privilege. They want management to provide your CVs, your assignment, if you so decide to accept, is to send to swhite@sjpi.edu.bb your CV soonest. I am negotiating in lots of areas that you have pursued, and you're graduating this afternoon. And I've guaranteed them that I will be getting CVs within another week or two. There's no magic to it. You are here. So that's your assignment. That is the admin officer that works in our liaison office, Mrs. Sonia Allen White. I repeat that email address again, swhite with an E @sjpi.edu.bb. Please remember, you are looking for the opportunities. And I always wanted to stand here and say, I can answer what is next. So after you receive your certificate this evening, this is what is next. These are serious business people. And I will drop hints like people have to line up in the sun to get to see these persons. SJPI is being given exclusivity to get your CVs that they can go through because they know what we have. Show them that you are ready to conquer the world. So, I want to wish you success. And remember that value that you add makes you an asset to the world. You've received your first part of your studies. And I want you to make sure that you continue that journey. I want to also highlight that 2 of our graduates would have been honored yesterday in our area of marine diesel engineering and maritime operations by the Minister of Tourism and International Business. And they would have received internship, and that would have been mentioned, I'm sure. And also they would have received a monetary donation for being outstanding students at the SJPI in 2022. Again, I am answering the question, what is next? And that's to the Bridgetown Port, who has endeavored and said to us, there will be looking to do more business with the SJPI in maritime and the marine diesel. So ladies and gentlemen, again, a heartfelt congratulations to you. And do not forget your assignment. You have a responsibility if you're adulting, and therefore I expect that we will live up to these exciting times as they continue. Continue to enjoy your evening, and let us have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Drakes. With saxophone as the voice by which to express his many thoughts, ideas, and emotions, Romero Graves has been continually making music his way of life. Through his spirited and skilled performances, which leave audiences moved by his ever-present passion for his craft. He has shared the stage with many prominent acts, such as Nicholas Branker, Arturo Topping, Farmer Nappi, Brian Broomgard, Atto Bofo, Lieutenant Stitchy, Alvin Slaughter, and the London Community Gospel Choir in the UK. Romero thanks Almighty God for blessing him with the gift of music by which to inspire, entertain, and touch the lives of others. Join me in welcoming Romero Graves as he plays I Can by Chronix. Graduates, regardless of the path you may take, whether it be work or school, always remember you can. Thank you, Ramiro. I invite back Ms. Corinne Kennedy Tate, Chairman of the SJPI Board of Management, to the podium to introduce to you the featured speaker.
The protocol having already been established, I will proceed with the introduction of Professor Ward. Professor Ward, I first met you almost 20 years ago at Night of the Stars, a ceremony in Queens, New York, where you were presented with a special award by the New York chapter of the Harson College, Queens College alumni. The association was so proud of your achievements at that time that they were moved to recognize you in a tangible way. At the time, I was the headmistress of Queens College and was invited to represent the two schools at the ceremony. I was impressed then, and I'm even more impressed now with your accomplishments. It therefore gives me great pleasure to present this citation and to reintroduce you to the SJPI, for I understand that you have been a guest here some time ago. Dr. Ward is a professor of electrical engineering at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, and is one of the world's leading experts on materials, devices, and systems for optical information processing and displays. His current research focuses on the development of optoelectronic neutral network coprocessors that give computers brain-like computing attributes. His earlier research relates to the photorefractive materials for manipulating light with light, transparent liquid crystal microdisplays for virtual reality eyeglasses, membrane mirror-based spatial light modulators for optical switching and projection displays, and spectropolymeric imaging sensors for remote sensing applications. Professor Ward holds 12 patents on spatial light modulators, displays, and optical information processing systems. He has published over 150 technical papers and written 3 textbook chapters in those areas. In addition to his teaching and research activities, Professor Ward has served since 1997 as the faculty director of the Office of Engineering Outreach Programs, OEOP, at MIT. MITES, an acronym for the Minority Introduction of Engineering to Engineering and Science, is the flagship program of the OEOP. It is a 6-week intensive program in science and engineering for gifted, underrepresented minority high school seniors. Dr. Ward is also active in encouraging Caribbean young people to pursue careers in science and engineering. In that role, he serves as the president of the Caribbean Diaspora for Science, Technology, and Innovation, CADSTI, and as the interim executive director of the Caribbean Science Foundation, CSF. Its headquarters is in Barbados. CADSTI and CSF focus on stimulating science and engineering-based entrepreneurship. They also assist in the implementation of STEM education reform in order to advance the role of science and technology in the economic development of the region. An entrepreneur himself, Professor Ward, in 1982, established Optron Systems, and in 1992, he co-founded Radiant Images. The latter company was subsequently acquired by Hoya, a multinational high-tech healthcare company that has its headquarters in Japan. The professor has served on the U.S. National Science Foundation Small Business Advisory Committee, on the Board of Trustees of the Stevens Institute of Technology, and as scientific advisor to the governments of Barbados and Belize. His expertise is underpinned by impeccable formal qualifications. In 1969, Professor Ward earned a Bachelor of Science degree in physics from the Stevens Institute of Technology and MPhil and PhD degrees in physics from Yale University in 1971 and 1974, respectively. He is a fellow of the Optical Society of America and a former associate editor of the Journal of Display Technology. He holds 2 honorary doctorates in science, one from the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus, and the other from Universidad Carlos III de Madrid. He has received numerous other awards and honors for his achievements in science and engineering. Professor Ward received his secondary education right here in Barbados at the then Boys Foundation School and at Harrison College. Professor, with such a distinguished academic record and such impressive credentials, I'm sure that the graduates, and indeed everyone present here today, will pay close attention to your address. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our featured speaker for the evening, Professor Cardinal Ward.
Good evening, everyone. You did better than that for the principal. Good evening, everyone. Thank you. And I owe a debt of gratitude to Mrs. Corinne Kennedy Tate for not only suggesting that I be your keynote speaker, but also chairing the board. I guess the board chairman has a lot of power, so. And I'm grateful to Deputy Chair Mark King. He was probably part of it. And to find me, she had to go to Maureen Pollard, sitting over there in the audience somewhere. And Maureen let me know that I had to do this. I couldn't say no. So I'm here, and I'm very happy to be here. But all protocols having been previously established, and all VPs have previously been acknowledged here in the audience, I think I should move straight into my presentation. And I've been talking to the principal a little bit just before we came in about what you're doing here and some of his plans for the future. And I've been very impressed by what I've been hearing. And I think SJPI is in good hands. And there's a lot more that can be done, and I'm sure will be done. And I may include some of those things in my remarks as a digression. When I got the email at first, and I saw what the mantra was, or what the theme was for tonight, and maybe in part the theme for your institution, Rising Together, Conquering the World. I focused a lot on the rising together. I didn't focus so much on conquering the world because there's a war going on, and I didn't want to go there. But I think there's a lot that you can conquer, and I'll take conquering the world not in the sense of military battles, but of you going out there as graduates and making the world a better place. And that's really what I want to focus on tonight. And I'll pick up where Mrs. Corinne Kennedy Tate left off. She started to charge you with things that you should do after you graduate and be great citizens. And I'm going to go a little bit further, but it's in the same vein that I'm addressing you tonight. So I'll give you some additional charges. But when I heard the words and read the words, rising together, a lot of things came to mind. A lot of other words came into my head. First was love. And in this world, we can't have too much of that. We need a lot more. Unity came into my mind. Rising together. Teamwork also came into my mind. And I have 6 of these. Another is selflessness, the opposite of selfishness, right? And I heard one of the awardees tonight is being credited for putting others' interests first, or oftentimes before theirs. These are all great qualities to have, and they can take you a really long way. Helping each other, helping your fellow man. And of course, as I said before, making the world a better place. So these are kind of 6 things that came into my head. And I thought that I would share with you how some of these things, which I try to practice, have helped my life, brought me happiness, peace of mind, comfort, and has also helped to propel my career. Because when you do good, it often comes back to you many times over. And if the people you help today may not be able to help you, you may even think they're ungrateful. But it always turns out your help and blessings come from elsewhere. And if you look to the people you help and ask, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Why are you not grateful? Why are you not thankful? You could be a very unhappy person. I try not to do that. But, graduates, you are about to embark on a new life, perhaps, a new direction. Some of you may stay in your current jobs. Some might look for new jobs. Some might even start businesses, which we sorely need in the region. And I'm sure the minister will agree with that. We need to give back to Barbados. We need to lift up Barbados. We need to lift up each other. We need to make Barbados a better place. And you have been endowed with some skills here at this institution that will allow you to play a part in making Barbados a better place for all. It'd be nice to drive unemployment levels to 0. That could only happen if the citizens of Barbados are playing their part to help create jobs. The government can't do it all. A government without people is not a government. You are the government as far as I'm concerned. Future of Barbados is in the hands of young people like you. I might be the oldest person in this room. I'm looking around to see if I have any company, but it doesn't look good. So I can stand up here as an elderly statesman, and perhaps I have the right to tell you where I have failed, because I have failed many times, and how my successes, that some of which you've heard tonight, have been achieved. But it's mostly following those 6 principles. And those 6 principles, from the time I was a young lad running around the beach down by Oystins, that's the area where I grew up, and Silver Sands, some of you know that area, people came into my life and changed me and my life significantly. There was one man I met on the beach one morning. It turns out he was a graduate student at Harvard University, but he was here in Barbados doing work, field work, for his PhD dissertation. And he needed help from youngsters who were in school, where they would go into the classrooms and was nursing Christopher School at the time and interviewed the young students. I was in high school when this happened. And fill out all the little forms that he had with the questions for the students because he was going to process all this data and write a PhD thesis on it. Anyway, he encouraged me to go to university. And I said, oh, I'm going to University of West Indies. And he said, have you ever considered going to the United States? I said, no, I can't afford that. But he went back and sent me application forms to some of the universities you just heard about that I attended. And that changed my life. It was an act of kindness, almost a random act of kindness. And I have never forgotten that. He died about 3 years ago. I was there when he was taking his last breaths. Turns out he stayed in the Boston, Massachusetts area, which is roughly where I live. And so he was just a stone's throw away from our home there. But that's giving back. And this is why today, some of the institutions that you heard I'm associated with, Caribbean Science Foundation, that's my way of giving back. And I want to give back 1,000 times what that man, his name was John Herzog, had given me when I was 17, 18 years old. And the Caribbean Science Foundation, it's doing sort of what he did for me. We take students in from as far west as Belize and as far south as Guyana. And we have a boot camp in STEM. 2 levels of calculus, 2 levels of physics, biochemistry, robotics, computer programming. We use Python a lot. That's the language I'm pushing for Barbados at CSEC. I haven't been successful yet. And these students go on, just like I did. They're all Caribbean students. They go on to some of the greatest universities in the world. Right now, there are 19 of them at MIT, which is the place where I teach. And most of them have almost full financial aid. I have to twist arms a little bit, at the institution to make some of this happen. But it shows what's possible with a little bit of love, tenderness, kindness, reaching out with a helping hand to others. And you as graduates, I'm going to urge you to try to do the same thing. When you leave here, no matter where you go, whether you take a job with someone, start a company, ask for a promotion because you have a diploma or certificate, because that's what some of you will do. I have my sheepskin from SJPI. I deserve a raise. I don't know what you're going to do with your life when you leave here, but I want you to think on those 6 things I talked about and make them part of your daily routine. So, another way to look at the challenges that I have for you out there, and I ask you to lift up Barbados and try to help create more employment. Not all of you should be entrepreneurs. But in the Caribbean Science Foundation, we talk about the development of the region where we try to build help to build economic pillars based on science and engineering. And engineering especially, I really want to underline engineering. But who's going to do it? It's people like you. So, one of the things you should ask yourself when you go out there, if you have any entrepreneurial blood in your veins, don't hold up your sheepskin and ask, I have a diploma, degree, a certificate, whatever you get here from SJPI, give me a job. Ask not who can give me a job, but ask who can I create jobs for? And you don't have to do it right away. If you've got the entrepreneurial blood in your veins, maybe you have to help yourself first before you can take the risk of trying to start a business. Barbados needs a lot more foreign exchange. Tourism doesn't pay all our bills. Anything that you can do to help to create products that have a global marketplace, you should. But first, you might want to serve the Barbados market, then the Caribbean market, and then maybe the wider market. Develop your business plan, right? And I'm sure you can get lots of help around Barbados with developing a business plan if you've never made one. And if you can't find help making a business plan, you can always try to find me, and maybe I can coach you or send you to the right people. But that's what you need to do, because oftentimes when you develop a business, you want to use OPM, other people's money. Don't go to the bank. The interest will strangle you, if they will even give you a loan. So, and the business plan helps you to do all these things in terms of creating the kinds of institutions based on technology, because that's what you've been doing here. And it doesn't have to be the next Microsoft or the next Apple or the next Facebook. With your trade skills that you have learned, you can create small businesses that can grow big and can go global. You have to believe that you can do it. And you have to believe that you have the wherewithal to do it. It takes a lot of sacrifice to build companies. I built 2 companies. And you heard I sold one to a Japanese company. That was a long time ago. Of course, it was easier for me. I was in the United States when I built a company. Much harder in Barbados. But it can be done here. And even if the money is not in Barbados, if you've got good ideas, good technology, and a good team, because you heard one of the things I said was teamwork, money will come. There's money out there that will come to Barbados if you've got the team, the technology, and the great ideas. But you have to be prepared to give up perhaps a significant ownership in that company, because the money doesn't come for free. There's no interest on it. If you go to business, you don't have to pay it back. So you want to use equity financing. And there are institutions out there that will do that will look at your business plan and help you to do that. But think big. Even though you might start small, think big and have a plan for your life at all times. Now, as you leave here, what you're going to find, you go out into the world, and technology is changing the way we live, play, and work very rapidly. I have no idea what the world is going to look like 20 years from now. I may not be around, but you guys will be. And there are 2 approaches that you can have. I can wait and see what technology is going to bring, and I'll try to make sure I always have a job, and I'll survive, and whatever it is, right? Or you could say, I am going to get involved in helping to create some of that technology that can make Barbados a better place, that can create some jobs for our people. That might even make you wealthy if that's one of the things you aspire to. And that's why I say think big. So yeah, we don't know what the world is going to look like even 10 years from now, 20 years from now. If you had told me, 30 years ago that it was going to be this thing called the internet, and it was going to do all these fancy things, and it was a World Wide Web, and it's going to create jobs like Amazon, I would have asked you whether you were smoking. So we don't know. And the best scientists and engineers and politicians in the world are unable to predict the future accurately. We just don't know where it's going to go. But this is why, at least at the institution where I come from, we do a lot of teaching of fundamentals, the fundamentals in almost every discipline. Because if you understand the fundamentals, you can apply those to new problems that you haven't seen before. Whereas if you do rote learning and memorize a whole bunch of equations and say, okay, that's physics or it's electrical engineering or whatever, you're not able to do any research. You're not able to think outside the box. You must be well grounded in the fundamentals. So one of my additional challenges to you then is when you leave here, continue your education. It doesn't have to stop because you got a degree. I'm still learning new things all the time. I learn a lot from my students. lots of times they're my teachers. Because I look for innovation. When a student hands me a solution to a problem, and I'm saying, wow, I didn't think of doing it that way. I learned something from that. And today, the world is so interdisciplinary that a lot of the jobs and a lot of the innovation and creations are coming from the intersection of many technologies. A little bit of biology mixed with electrical engineering, mixed with physics, mixed with ocean engineering. A lot of new discoveries are happening, and a lot of them resonate around the biological sciences. You can be part of this. So when you leave here, try to learn as much as you can. Keep educating yourself because the world is changing. It'll be changing right in front of your eyes. You don't want to be left behind. You want, if possible, to be part of the ones who are creating that technology or using it. So you're controlling it rather than it's controlling you. Right now, right here in Barbados, a lot of our young people are using their thumbs and pressing these little things. I think I have one in my pocket somewhere. I hardly know how to use it. I can make it better than I can use it, unfortunately. And we've created a generation of young people who, perhaps some of them get very little exercise. They're not using their hands like you do. And I think that's going in the wrong direction. If they were using these machines to do computer science, where they're learning some of the modern languages and using some of the buzzwords, creating and using artificial intelligence and machine learning to process big data and create companies out of that, I would be very happy. But I'm not sure that's happening. But your role, where you're very much involved in the TVET space, is very, very important for Barbados. You can't have all people like me who are doing sophisticated research on how to create computers that behave like the brain behaves and use neurons to compute. You can't have all people like me. You have to have people on the ground making things, building things. And just as I have to innovate to keep my job, you should be doing the same thing at your level. You can still do research at your level. The research is not something that's relegated to the people with PhDs. You can do your own research at the level at which you're operating right now, creating new products, new systems, improving existing systems, looking for markets for them, building teams, and forming companies. Barbados would be better off if all of you were to be able to pull your weight. So you might ask, what are some of the challenges that you could work on? And right now, the Caribbean Science Foundation has started something called the Caribbean STEM Olympiads. The finals of the Olympiads are going to be Friday of, what's today's date? I don't even know. Is today Saturday? Yeah. It's Friday next week and Saturday. And the final awards and closing ceremonies are on Sunday. I'm going to try to do a broadcast to all the people I know, inviting them to those events. But one of the things in the Caribbean STEM Olympiads that we are challenging our youngsters in Barbados and the Caribbean to work on, and by the way, it has 3 levels, age levels. There's 12 to 15, 15 to 18, and 18 to 21. So even at 12 to 15 years, we're saying, look, here are 6 challenges that the Caribbean has. Food security and food safety. Non-communicable diseases. Transportation. Huge problem. Even if in Barbados, you can't get from St. Lucie to Christchurch easily during rush hour. No way. But transportation between our islands is a huge problem. And it's expensive. Moving money around. I'm trying to pay people in Jamaica. They don't want Bajan dollars. I'm in Barbados. I don't have US dollars. So I'm going to spend a lot of money paying fees to the bank or to PayPal or to Western Union or some other agency like that. That money, those fees don't stay in Barbados. So I'm challenging our students to look at some of these problems and create just a small software program that would attack a part of the problem. They can't solve the whole problem. Of course not. And tell us how that small portion that they solve enables the bigger solution. If we can solve, and there's one more, there's geohazards, climate change, and its effects, right? But, enable the solution with your God-given brain. My dad used to say that God gave every man a talent. Some people go through life and never find that talent. Don't let that happen to you. Always seek to go to a higher plane, learn more, and you may discover that your talent may not be what you did here at SJPI. It might lie in some other field that you haven't been exposed to. So you've got to keep reading, looking around, learning. Continued education is the way to go. Whether you do it yourself or whether you go out and take more courses, that's what one of my charges to you is. And finally, as I go towards the end here, because I'm probably over time, give back to SJPI. As I look over all of you, I know that among you there are going to be several millionaires and maybe a couple of billionaires. But given a large enough population, you can do the math and compute the probability, right? And you can't tell who those persons are right now. But you come back 20 years, you might be amazed that the ones that you thought weren't so great are now the wealthiest. So be good to all people at all times, because they may become your boss and you might have to beg them for a job one day. You don't know, okay? And that has happened to me, so I know what I'm talking about. So that's what we've got to do, what you've got to do when you leave here. Continue to grow, give back to this organization, because the first dollar that you get when you start a company where you have no money, after your company has done $1 million of business, $1 doesn't matter. And SJPI has invested in you with its first dollar right now. I'm using dollars, but it's an investment, whether it's money or otherwise. Your teachers, your principals here on the stage, and others have invested in you. That's an important investment. Multiply it, make it grow, and make SJPI proud. So, if I have one last remark, it's perhaps about engineering, because I said engineering was important. Engineers create jobs. Like all other professionals, we conceive of things that maybe don't exist before. We design them. The design process is really important. To design properly, you have to understand the fundamentals. You can't design in a vacuum and draw pictures and say that's a design. You might build it, then it falls apart. Architects and engineers who work with them know that well. So this is why the fundamentals is important. But engineers create a lot more companies than doctors and lawyers. And you guys are at the cutting edge of a lot of the engineering disciplines. So I would love to see a closer relationship between SJPI and University of the West Indies. There is no engineering center in Barbados. It's very sad. There's a university in Trinidad that has engineering, UWI, but Barbados doesn't have any. And we need to create more and more engineers. And these are engineers who have both the theoretical knowledge as well as the hands-on building knowledge, because you need both. And that could be my charge to the principals, to start interacting more and getting more dialogue going with all our tertiary institutions so we can create more and more engineers in Barbados. But anyway, That's a long story, and I can take that up with your principal if he's willing to discuss it with me. I want to congratulate you as graduands today, and I want you to think about the principles of giving back, teamwork, creating something of value that can help not only you, but help Barbados. Think about love. It's important. And helping your fellow man. And I guarantee you, it will bring you lots of happiness. And if you go down the entrepreneurial direction, it might bring you lots of wealth also, if that's of interest to you. But again, congratulations, Godspeed, and good luck with your careers wherever you go from here.
Thank you, Cardinal Ward. We owe you, Professor Ward, a debt of gratitude for your words of congratulations, love, unity, inspiration, hope, and challenge. Next on the program is a dance by Miss Charissa Braffett. Miss Braffett believes that dance is an unwritten language. From the age of 5, she was enrolled as a student of the Praise Academy Dance of Barbados, where she studied ballet, modern and jazz, with well-known teachers like Jerry Kelman, Patricia Cox, Shama Harding, and Tuesday Pounder. These excellent individuals were very instrumental in honing Charissa's skills, making her into the graceful and passionate dancer she is today. With Praise Academy, Charissa's group has participated in Community Dance Fest, as well as NIFCA, where they won many awards. Recently, she participated in a short screenplay to celebrate nurses, which was directed and produced by Mr. Carl F. Padmore. Now in her final year at the UWI Cave Hill campus, pursuing her bachelor's in creative arts, she has had the great privilege to have Dr. Rainey Demerson and Aisha Commission as her dance lecturers. Charissa has always lived by the quote by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., "If I cannot do great things, I can do small things in a great way." Ladies and gentlemen, please sit back and enjoy this passionate performance by Charissa Braffett.
I'm more than a conqueror. I'm more than a conqueror. Yeah, everything that was holding me down has only made me stronger now. I'm more than a conqueror. Lift your voice and say, I'm more than a conqueror. I'm more than a conqueror. Everything, yeah. Everything that was holding me down is only making me stronger now. I'm more than a conqueror. Fighting through the night, feeling like I've lost it
Graduates, you are more than conquerors. Thank you, Sharissa. I invite Ms. Brenda Osborne, Deputy Principal, Academic, to present to you the graduates of Class 2022.
Class of 2022, please stand. Madam Chair, this evening I present the graduates of the following divisions: Agriculture, Automotive and Welding Engineering, Building Studies, Business Studies, Electrical Engineering, Printing and Mechanical Engineering, Human Ecology, Distance and Continuing Education. These graduates will receive certificates and diplomas in various disciplines from the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology and the CVQs from the Tibet Council. Ladies and gentlemen, Class of 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, Class of 2022. Please sit.
I now invite the Honorable K. McConney, Minister of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, Chairman of the SJPI, Ms. Corinne Kennedy Tate, and the Principal of the SJPI, Mr. Ian Reyes, to stand to receive the graduates. They would be assisted by Ms. Katrina Williams and Ms. Asha Waif with the distribution of the plaques and scrolls.
Not too long. Madam Chair, I present this year's special awards. This year's special awards go to the following students: valedictorian and divisional awardee in the Division of Agriculture, Abigail Mohammed. This year, the Registrar's Award goes to Patricia Baino. She's from the Division of Human Ecology. I now present the divisional awards for the most outstanding students. Rashid Beckles, He's from the Division of Building Studies. Noel Bishop, Business Studies. Romario Brathwaite, the Division of Human Ecology. The Registrar's honor list roll, awards, and distinction. Carlin Aline. Carlin is from the Division of Human Ecology. Reese Ann Aline, Human Ecology. Tiana Blackman. Tiana is also from the Division of Human Ecology. Ariel Boyce, Human Ecology. Shanisha Butcher, Building Studies. Dari Clark, Automotive and Welding Division. Jolia Clark, the Division of Human Ecology. Destiny Cummings, Human Ecology. McGarry Ellis, Building Studies. Mark Cale Eversley, the Division of Mechanical Engineering and Printing. Peter Ross Grosner, the Division of Human Ecology. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Ross Grosner, Division of Human Ecology. Joshua Harvey, Division of Mechanical Engineering and Printing. Tremaine Nichols, the Division of Human Ecology. Humair Patel, the Division of Electrical Engineering. Renika Simpson, the Division of Human Ecology. Madam Chair, that brings us to the end of our presentation. Madam Minister and team, thanks for your kind assistance.
Warren and Minister McConney for assisting with the presentations. I now ask Professor Cardinal Ward to join Ms. Corinne Kennedy Tate, Chairman, and Mr. Ian Drakes, Principal, to present the divisional scrolls. The graduates of the full-time divisions will be introduced by Ms. Myrna Seeley Hinkson, instructor in the Division of Human Ecology, followed by Mr. Kevin Chapman, head of Division of Distance and Continuing Education, Open and Flexible Learning divisions, as he presents the graduates of the Distance and Continuing Education programs.
Good evening, all. Protocol having been established, we will continue. We now continue with the graduates from the Division of Agriculture. Jeffrey Bolden, Diploma in Agriculture. Tyrell Ward, Diploma in Civil and Structural Drafting. Trishawn Headley, Certificate in Cabinet and Furniture Making. Unit Certificate in Partial Completion of the Diploma Program, Zariah Bledman, Civil and Structural Drafting. Okay. Ashantoni Bootman, Architectural Drafting. Hajari Brown, Architectural Drafting. Adriel Goodrich, Masonry. Kayan Walcott, Civil and Structural Drafting. Reneel Webb, Masonry. Unit Certificate in Partial Completion of Certificate Program, Niraj Rogers, Carpentry and Joinery. Division of Business Studies. Khadija Blackett, Merit, Diploma in Office Administration. Raquel Burnett, Merit, Diploma in Office Administration. Ayana Doughton, Diploma in Office Administration. Monica Gill, Merit, Diploma in Office Administration. Talia Murrell, Merit, Diploma in Accounts Technology. Talia Murrell, Merit, Diploma in Accounts Technology. Alicia Hall, Merit, Certificate in Office Administration. Division of Electrical Engineering. Shakira Bancroft, Merit, Diploma in Refrigeration and Air Conditioning. Javonte Brathwaite, Merit, Diploma in Refrigeration and Air Conditioning. Amari Heralal, Merit, Diploma in Microcomputer Technology. Unit Certificate in Partial Completion of Certificate Program. Shaquan Rouse, Electrical Wiring. Imani Williams, Electrical Wiring. Imani Williams. Division of Human Ecology. Kamisha Cragwell, Diploma in Garment Technology. Lajade Willoughby, Diploma in Garment Technology. Certificate. Natara Andrews, Merit, Certificate in Beauty Therapy. Lachey Bellamy, Merit, Certificate in Catering. Cassandra Ford, Merit, Certificate in Massage Therapy. Kellyanne Holder, Merit, Certificate in Catering. Shaniqua Hope, Merit, Certificate in Catering. Alyssa Innes, Merit, Certificate in Beauty Therapy. Delia Knight, Merit, Certificate in Beauty Therapy. Trishana Mapp, Merit, Certificate in Beauty Therapy. Akila Rowe, Certificate in Beauty Therapy. Erica Weeks, Merit, Certificate in Garment Technology. Unit Certificate in Partial Completion of Certificate Program, Denisha Bradshaw, Catering. Alika Hines, Arasawiya, Garment Technology. Ashante Moore, Catering. Naisha Otterson, Beauty Therapy. Carolicia Richards, Catering. Michaela Rowe, Massage Therapy. Shadia Rudder, Massage Therapy. Kiokia Walters, Massage Therapy. Nyasha Worrell, Garment Technology. Division of Mechanical Engineering and Printing, Diploma. Rhea Arthur, Merit. Diploma, Graphic Design and Print Technology. Derica Barrow, Merit, Diploma in Graphic Design and Print Technology. Amari Waterman, merit, Diploma, Mechanical Maintenance Engineering. Unit Certificate in Partial Completion of Diploma Program, Christopher Jones, Mechanical Maintenance Engineering. Christy Ann King, Graphic Design and Print Technology. Madam Chair, I present to you, these are all the full-time graduates I presented to you, and we will now go over to the
I now invite Mr. Kevin Chapman, Head of Division of Distance and Continuing Education, Open and Flexible Learning Division, as he presents the graduates of the Distance and Continuing Education.
Good evening, Madam Chairman. I will present two full-time graduates that were omitted. Donella Clark, Unit Certificate in Office Administration. Tara Greenwich, Certificate in Catering with Merit. Madam Chairman, I present to you for course certificate in Automotive Engineering Theory and Practice 1, Omar Beth. For a course certificate in Rivet Architecture, Charles Brown. For a certificate in Applied Small Business Management, Mr. Ezekiel Ash. Woo. supposed to tell me the name, you know. Hold on, please come back this way. Okay. For the certificate in Applied Small Business Management, Kamisha Bascom. Still with Applied Small Business Management, Kimberly Batson. Nikita Haynes Evelyn, Applied Small Business Management. Ashley Evelyn, Applied Small Business Management. Okay, that's Applied Small Business. Novon Nebelit, Small Business Management. Chanel Rowe, Applied Small Business Management. For course certificate, supervisory management, Kamisha Brathwaite. Supervisory management, Michelle Codrington. Course certificate, computer repairs and servicing technology 1, Kimal Hardin. Computer repairs and servicing technology 1, Shakar King. Receiving course certificates in receiving course certificates for photovoltaic installation 1 and photovoltaic electrical installation, Damian Graves. Receiving course certificates for photovoltaic installation 1 as well as photovoltaic electrical installation, Javon Johan Small. For course certificates for photovoltaic electrical installation and photovoltaic installation, Imani Williams. Photovoltaic electrical installation, Shane Trotman. For course certificate in cake and pastry making, Janelle Austin. Cake and pastry making, Rhea Ames. Cake and pastry making, Denisha Barton. Certificate in cake and pastry making, Gail Fenty. Certificate in cake and pastry making, Jelani Jones. Patricia Lewis, cake and pastry making. Erica Mellows, cake and pastry making. Cake and pastry making, Chantel Mitchell. Sandra Nichols, cake and pastry making. For the course certificate of childcare and nursery management, Ravonda Brooms. Aaliyah Corbin, childcare and nursery management. Katrina Critchlow, childcare and nursery management. Karen Comerbatch, childcare and nursery management. Danielle Dongs, most outstanding student, childcare and nursery management. Dion Jordan, childcare and nursery management. Danella Lickrush, Child Care and Nursery Management. Shane Linton, Child Care and Nursery Management. Katie Maynard, Child Care and Nursery Management. And most outstanding student again. Natasha Marksman, Child Care and Nursery Management. Debbie Noble, Child Care and Nursery Management. Oh, yeah. Wanel Tempor, Child Care and Nursery Management. For course certificate in cookery, Akisha Aline. Tiara Barrows, cookery. Nick Kayla Nichols, cookery. Michaela Thompson, cookery. For the course certificate of housekeeping 1, Ashana Baino. Samantha Chasan, housekeeping 1. Joanne Gibbons, housekeeping 1. Michelle Graham, housekeeping 1. Chaya Griffith, housekeeping 1. Sasha Lord, housekeeping 1. Simon Lord, housekeeping 1. Lisa Lovell, housekeeping 1. Crystal Marshall, housekeeping 1. Congrats. Sharon Maycock, housekeeping 1. Jamaria Payne, housekeeping 1. Jenny Riley, housekeeping 1. Sarah Reed, housekeeping 1. Nakisha Stout, housekeeping 1. Shakira Stout, housekeeping 1. Crystal Stoll, housekeeping 1. Trinell Austin, massage therapy. Sharissa Mears, massage therapy, sorry. Elan Watson, massage therapy. Alyssa Weeks, massage therapy. For the program certificate in Nursing Auxiliary Studies, Charisse Allen. Roslyn Allen, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Alexandria Bailey, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Keisha Bradshaw, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Jason Callender, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Rishan Beckles, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Takira Bess, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. That's our principal's daughter. Fabiana Bisset, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Shelley Clark, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Akeisha Prescott. Malika Bovell, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Tia Chapman. Andrea Scott, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Hasina Clark, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Satara Edwards, Nursing Auxiliary Studies, Most Outstanding Student. Nakisha Eversley, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Kim Ford, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Cornelia Hunt, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Kellyanne Lewis, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Shauna Mears, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Alvina Messiah, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Katrina McCullin, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Chantel Payne, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Chanel Paris, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Jordana Smith, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Khadija St. Hill. Khadija have 100% attendance over the last year and a half of study. Santia Stout, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. No. Natoya With, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Melissa Walcott, Nursing Auxiliary Studies. Madam Chair, that concludes the graduates from the Distance and Continuing Open and Flexible Learning Division.
Thank you to those involved in the presentation. I now invite back Ms. Kay McConney, Minister of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, Chairman of the SJPI, Ms. Corey Kennedy Tate, and Principal, Mr. Ian Drakes, to stand to present an honorary award.
Madam Chair, there was an oversight and we return to the special awards to present the Registrar's Honor Roll Award of Distinction. Julian Ford. He's from the Division of Mechanical Engineering and Printing. Akila Yard from the Division of Agriculture. That's Akila Yard Austin, the Division of Agriculture. Madam Chair, we're going to shift our focus back to the presentation of graduates. Tashana Curtin. Tashana is from the Division of Mechanical Engineering and Printing, and I'm seeing here that she has a distinction. No, sorry, she's from the Certificate in Animal Husbandry. That's the Division of Agriculture. There are two divisions on this piece of paper. Thanks again, team.
Graduates, please stand. I now invite the audience to give you all a rousing round of applause on your achievement and congratulate the graduation class of 2022. You may be seated. Welcome on stage once again, saxophonist Mr. Romero Graves to deliver an instrumental piece by Marvey entitled Push and Go Through. Thank you, Romero. Ladies and gentlemen, graduates, it gives me great pleasure to present to you none other than the valedictorian for the SJPI's graduating class of 2022, Miss Abigail Mohammed, distinction and most outstanding student with a diploma in agriculture, to deliver the valedictory address.
Masters of Ceremonies, Mr. Lamar Nichols, Library Assistant, the Honorable Kay McConney, Minister of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, Honorable Sandra Husbands, Minister in Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Permanent Secretaries of the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, and the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment, and Deputy Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, other senior government officials, and head of statutory organizations, chairman and members of the Board of Management of the SJPI, Professor Cardinal Ward, Faculty Director, Office of Engineering Outreach Programs, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Principal and Deputy Principal of the SJPI, other distinguished and specially invited guests, past and present staff of the SJPI, graduating class of 2022, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is my delight and honor to be selected as the valedictorian of the graduating class of 2022 and to deliver this speech on behalf of my fellow graduates. Class of 2022, we have made it. We have succeeded in our various programs and disciplines amidst several challenges. We had to adapt to the restrictions that were put in place because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the masks, the physical distancing, and the online classes, even for practical courses in the beginning. Sometimes we had to face the difficult personal assignments and the stressful dynamic of group assignments. These challenges tested our grit and pushed our limits, but in the end, everything worked out well. I hope that, like me, the program you pursued has unlocked a desire to contribute to your community and make a difference in your chosen field. I was privileged to have great classmates who walked with me on my journey at SJPI, and I would like to publicly thank Shaquille, Zakia, Jeffrey, and Damani. We created fond memories together, learned new things together, and generally enjoyed each other's presence. I will always remember the laughter and enjoyment we had while learning at the Greenland Livestock Research Station, Kendall Farms, and Peg Farms. Classmates, you inspired me, assisted me when I needed it, and added value to my experience. Thank you. To speak of this journey, I must make mention of my instructors. They helped me a lot. They allow me to realize the potential and zealousness I have, qualities which they saw and encouraged in me. Thank you, Mr. Richards, for everything you have done to help me to be where I am today. Special mention must also be made of Miss Alexander, Mr. Harewood, Miss Odwin, Mrs. Asherwaith, Miss Haynes, Mr. Humphrey, Mr. Cave, and Miss Pilgrim, who guided, instructed, and gave of their best to the program. Educators are amazing people. I owe a debt of gratitude to Mr. Ren Ramsey of Princess Margaret Secondary School. I know that without his coaching, I would not have entered SJPI or be where I am standing today. Fellow graduates, we have come to the end of this chapter in our journey. The paths we took were different, but they have yielded a similar outcome: our successful graduation. Now we are stepping out into the unknown world of work and further studies, but we are not alone. We are, as our theme this evening states, rising together, conquering the world. Armed with determination, the skills we have grasped, the lessons we have learned, and with God's direction, we can continue the path to even greater success. Here are some lessons that I want to leave with you today. 1, The people who enter our lives unexpectedly, but at the right time can create lifelong friendships and open doors. 2, the obstacles we face can be rough, but keep pressing on because in the end, your efforts will pay off and will be worth it. 3, be mindful of what you do. Your actions have the potential to take you a very long way in this life. 4, plan well, but always have a plan B. And 5, through it all, put God first in everything you do. He brings the success, courage, and strength to keep going. Congratulations to my fellow graduates and to students receiving awards. Best wishes to you all.
Thank you, Abigail, and congratulations once more on your special achievement. Newly assigned to the post of Acting Deputy Principal Administration, Ms. Andrea Braffett is a graduate of the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus, where she obtained a Master of Education degree in curriculum. Ms. Braffett has been an educator for over 15 years and previously held the post of Curriculum Development Industrial Liaison Officer at the institution. Graduates, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Andrea Braffett, Deputy Principal Administration, as she delivers the vote of thanks.
Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Lamar Nichols, our Library Assistant, the Honorable Kay McConney, Minister of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, the Honorable Sandra Husbands, Minister in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Permanent Secretaries of the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, and the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment, and Deputy Permanent Secretary, other senior government officials and heads of statutory organizations, chairman and members of the Board of Management of the SJPI, Professor Cardinal Ward, Faculty Director in the Office of Engineering Outreach Program at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Principal and Deputy Principal of the SJPI, other distinguished and specially invited guests, past and present staff of the SJPI, valedictorian and graduating class of 2022, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Now, G.K. Chesterton once said, when it comes to life, the critical thing is whether you take things for granted or take them with gratitude. Indeed, it is my privilege to have been asked to deliver the vote of gratitude on this occasion as we celebrate our first face-to-face graduation and awards ceremony in 2 years. This evening, my task is to highlight those individuals who would have given of their time, talent, and other resources to making this event as memorable and magnificent as it has been. And so, I begin by saying a sincere thank you to Reverend Dr. Nigel Taylor for invoking God's presence among us. Sir, your prayer was inspirational. Director Mrs. Joy Knight Lynch and Cultural Officer Ms. Aisha Butcher of the National Cultural Foundation and the Barbados National Youth Symphony Orchestra, your musical selections helped set the tone for an evening of splendor. This was further enhanced by Captain Natalie Haynes and the Cadet Corps, who made a grand ceremonial entrance and paved the way for the evening's celebrations. To you, our Master of Ceremonies, so well attired. Sir, your effervescent personality has helped to keep us engaged as you effortlessly guided us through this program this evening. Thank you, sir. Honorable Kay McConney, Minister of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, thank you for so eloquently delivering the minister's remarks and presenting the special awards. We at the SJPI, endorse your vision for education, and we will continue to work earnestly as we support the work of your ministry. Thank you, Minister. A deep sense of gratitude is extended to our featured speaker, Professor Cardinal Ward, Faculty Director in the Office of Engineering Outreach Program at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Sir, you had us captivated with your timely and thought-provoking address. As you admonish our graduates that through the principles of teamwork and selflessness, they can go forward and make a contribution to Barbados and, by extension, the world. Thank you, sir. To the Chairman of the Board of Management, Ms. Corinne Kennedy Tate, for the warm reception extended to us, we say thank you. And to Mr. Ian Drake's principal, who in delivering his report informed us about the various exciting developments that are taking place at the SJPI. An expression of gratitude is also extended to Ms. Brenda Osborne, Deputy Principal, who's responsible for academic matters. She would have presented our graduates to us here this evening and provided the background to the inaugural honorary awardees. Appreciation is also extended to Ms. Myrna Seeley Hinkson, our instructor in the Division of Human Ecology, and Mr. Kevin Chapman, head of the Distance and Continuing Education Open and Flexible Learning Center, for announcing the various graduates. And to Ms. Katrina Williams and Ms. Asha Ward for assisting with the distribution of plaques and scrolls. Thanks to all of you. I am confident that you, the graduates, are pleased with the manner in which our valedictorian, Ms. Abigail Mohammed, represented you. You have done your peers proud, Ms. Mohammed. Congratulations to you. Of course, no event would be complete without some form of entertainment, and we were thoroughly entertained. First, we had our dancer, Miss Sharisha Brathwaite, as she graciously displayed her talent. And of course, our saxophonist kept us grooving with his 2 renditions. Now, sometimes we take for granted how much work goes on behind the scenes when planning a successful event like this. And a number of persons, to numerous dimensions, are involved. Some of these include our Executive Officer Acting, Mrs. Deborah Charles St. Hill, and her entire team of ancillary staff, messengers, and drivers. Our Registrar, Mrs. Hyacinth Collymore, Senior Clerk, Miss Katrina Williams, the entire staff of the Student Services Section, and members of the Graduation and Awards Committee, who would have worked tirelessly to plan and organize this event. Can we have a round of applause for them, please? Sincere gratitude is also extended to Ms. Annette Cherry, our Senior Clerk, who, though not here with us this afternoon, would have played a major role in graduation as well. To our team of ushers led by Ms. Asha Waith, we say thank you. I must also mention our deep sense of appreciation to all members of staff, instructional, administrative, IT, library, for your hard work in producing the graduates we have here today, and for all your whatever you would have done to contribute to the success of this year's graduation ceremony. From invitations to venue and everything in between, a heartfelt thanks goes out to our many sponsors. These include our marketing team from W Portfolio Inc., Prestige Prink, D. Blades Trophies Limited, Ms. Roberta Dowell, Donna Clark, Richard Hunt, and the management and staff of the Garfield Sobers Sports Complex Building Gymnasium Limited. Through staging, stage lighting, sound amplification, and an array of floral pieces, this venue has been wonderfully transformed. Special thanks to our security officers from ANC Security Limited, Mr. Kevin Daly, our official photographer, and our caterers' magnificent dining concepts for helping to make this a special occasion and affair. Now this year, we introduced our Honorary and Appreciation Awards, and Mr. Andrew Gittins, head of the Mechanical and Engineering Printing Division, designed and produced the plaques that you would have seen being given out here today. Thank you so much, Mr. Gittins. Of course, we cannot forget our invited guests. Your support and commitment to the institution and to the graduates has not gone unnoticed. And so we say thank you to our industry partners, members of government and other statutory organizations, former member of the boards of management, retired staff, members of the executive committee of the SJPI and the SJPI, alumni, members of the SJPI Student Council, parents, guardians, and other special invited guests. We say thank you. To the media for covering the event and for the coverage that we know that we will receive, we are extremely grateful. Finally, and by no means least, a special thanks go out to you, the graduating class of 2022. You've sat through this evening's events with great poise and expectations, and so I will not keep you much longer. I just want to let you know that we are extremely proud of you and honored to celebrate this evening with you. Please remember that having left the SJPI, you should not forget what you have learned. Rather, be empowered with your new knowledge and conquer the world. Achieve remarkable things for yourself and, by extension, your country. Once again, I want to say thank you to everyone involved for your involvement, and willingness to be part of this evening's graduation and awards ceremony. Thank you. Master of Ceremonies, I crave your indulgence for just a little while longer as I invite Mr. Ian Drakes, our principal, to the podium for the last time to display one last act of gratitude as he does a special presentation of appreciation awards.
Good night again. I will ask Professor Cardinal Ward and the Honorable Minister, Ms. Kay McConney, to join me as I do this presentation. On behalf of the management and staff and the graduates of the year 2022, Professor Cardinal Ward, we want to thank you for this inspiring speech that you have given to us this evening. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Madam Minister, your words are always thought-provoking and motivational. And again, you have done that this afternoon, and you have dropped some nuggets on us. And for that, we must appreciate and show our appreciation as graduates of 2022, and we expect to see you 23, 24, 25, ... Madam Minister, thank you. Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you, Mr. Drakes. Thank you, Ms. Braffett. This brings to a close the public ceremony by which the SJPI has signaled the awards of diplomas and certificates to its graduates. Thank you very much, as it was a pleasure being your Master of Ceremonies this evening. I hope you enjoyed it. The company will now disperse, but not before permitting me to escort our specially invited guests and allowing the platform party to leave. The platform party will be escorted by the registrar, followed by specially invited guests, heads of division, graduates will be escorted by Miss Alicia Yearwood and Miss Jane McCollin.